Now our master teacher, who's already standing here, essentially needs no introduction. He's one of the most significant performers of our time. We're enormously grateful that he's here, that he's able to give us the next 3 hours to work with 4 of our most outstanding students at the Guildhall School. And I think without any further ado, please welcome Gerald Finley.
You're all invited to my next concert. Thank you very much. Very warm welcome, and a warm welcome to you. I would like to feel that this is a very personal encounter between myself and 4 aspiring singers. You're very welcome to join in commentary, in appreciation. I'm going to ask perhaps once or twice whether what we're working on here is something that you hear results out there. It's always useful to get a bit of reinforcement democratically so that my word isn't law, although for the next 3 hours it is. The last thing to say is let's engage, all right? No one's here, it's just us, all right? This is our time. If I had had an opportunity like this at your stage, I would have had 100 questions from what I know now. Okay, so please feel free. If there's anything that's confusing or you want a little bit more help on or clarification, that would be great. So I'm going to become part of the audience, hopefully melt away, and we'll carry on. Okay, very good. So we start with Magdalena. If you could announce your pieces, either as they happen or all at once at the beginning, and just give me a brief summary of what's going on dramatically. That would be helpful. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Magdalena Molendowska. I'm a soprano. That's my pianist, Rodrigo de Vera. We prepared for today an aria and a song. We will start with an excerpt from La Boheme by Giacomo Puccini. It will be the second aria of Mimi, Donde lieta uscì. The piece when Mimi just heard the Marcello and kill the soprano. I totally forgot the name. The Marcello and other guy, Rodolfo. Still my point. Marcello and Rodolfo, who are talking about her illness and saying actually that she is going to die. That's this moment.
Torna sola
aria of Mimi is an example of love who can sacrifice the feeling for the other person just to save him suffering, seeing her dying. This song is about the other side of love, the love which is actually much more about the physical contact, about charming other person, just to have a very, very pleasant and exciting night. Because it's quite hard to sing this song from the position of a long dress, because it's the words, apart from the tiny part, are the words of man who is trying to seduce the girl. But let it happen. It will be Hector Berlioz, Il Inconnu. I think I don't have to say that it's a successful romance.
Thank you, Magdalena, very much, very much. Do you have the scores there?
Yes, I do.
May I have, let's start with Mimi. Let's start with Mimi. Okay, if you could find it for me. One of the essences of our job is communication. And the majority of it is making sure that the voice is in very good working order, that we're very relaxed, that we understand what we're singing about. The next part is communication and the performing of it. Now, what I really enjoyed very much was what I felt was how you have absorbed the music and the text and the feeling thereof. And there's no question that from a vocal point of view, these are not too challenging for you, which I'm very, very glad about. I'm going to ask you to take off your glasses.
Okay.
Why do you think I've asked you to do that?
At first, it's much easier to observe what is going on my face while singing.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that is taking off a tiny bit of privacy on stage can be.
Uh-huh.
The other thing can be isolating from the world all around.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so 3 ideas so far.
Very good, very good. Yeah, very good. Okay, and they're all mine. Of course, the glasses is a barrier, isn't it? It's a barrier for what our eyes are doing, very much what our experience, what we're thinking of. Your facial expressions can do a certain amount of work, but actually it's the eyes, it's the focus, it's the thought of internalizing what's going on, or reflecting what is going on from inside out to your audience. Okay, that's critical. So because I didn't get 30% of your performance, I'd wonder if we could start again, so that I can get that extra 30%. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's so helpful, actually. Now we can see what's going on. And I think probably Mimi, she's alone. She's singing it to herself, pretty much, to console herself in this particular moment. She knows she's dying, and she's thinking of those lovely moments that she's had. So my feeling is that this can be stiller. Just be more still in your concentration somehow. Does
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I want you to be still in your body, but actually, I want you to really feel that there's an essence of vibrancy in the way you're revisiting those special moments, so that they're a little bit more invested. There's a number of ways you can do that. You can either sing a little bit more fully into the text, which I feel is perhaps a general comment that I can make for improving. I would like you to enjoy the actual formation of your text and the ideas and the feeling that there is there. Just a little bit more, okay? I'll comment on something else, but let's carry on from where we are just here. Just putting that in mind. Okay, very good, very good. Very simple words, 3 words, in fact, which are?
Addio.
Ah, good.
Addio senza rancor.
Oh, say that again?
Senza rancor, without regretting.
Yes, yes. No, I'm just saying how you're saying it is actually clearer than when you sing it. Okay. Can you just get that feeling? Now, I'll tell you there's a couple of things. Just say it again.
Addio senza rancor.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. So, what's happening is that there's a nice appoggia on the dio, and senza is immediately senza. We get right to the vowel. Senza rancor. So that the idea is invest all of this with your breath. All right? Keep the breath nice and connected to the sound of all these elements of the language, the consonant and the vowel. Okay? See if you can just it's a very useful phrase, this one, addio senza rancor. Okay, interesting, isn't it? So we can disturb the actual pitch of the note if we put too much pressure on it. What I'm asking is just a bit more addio, so that the idea is that we have the breath flow is on the same pitch, on the same concentration of sound, so that there's no break in the sound. There's a continuous flow. See how we do. Okay, let me give you a clue. That for the double consonants in Italian, it's very useful to think of them as it was very helpful Italian that taught me this, was the fact that the first of the double consonants is in fact the end of the first vowel and then the beginning of the second vowel. So that it's addi, addi. Okay. That's the idea. Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So that you're actually then singing through the end of the vowel to the end of the vowel, right, that consonant, and then you're beginning the vowel just happens to be on that consonant. So that there is in fact just vowel going, which just has a few quick stops in between. All right, let's see how we go. Yeah, see how you can put that into addi, addi.
Addio senza rancor.
Good, very good, very good. Okay, now you're working very hard, and I can see you're working hard. So let's try and cover that all up.
Okay.
Okay, that's just really hard. So you can see, you're just it's just work going on quietly down here. Now at the end of addio, don't let the breath fall away.
Okay.
Addio. So there's a nice energy right to the end of the vowel.
Addio.
No, you just let it go just at the very end. I want addio. Okay, when you look at this again, when you see yourself on YouTube, you will know that what happens, addio, it just breaks down a little bit.
Okay.
Okay?
That's a habit.
Let's stop it. Let's try and find a way to.
Yeah.
Now, the reason is, now you may not have noticed this, and most audiences don't notice this, but the fact is that as soon as we deprive them of our phonation, they go, huh? With their ears. They don't realize it. And they go, I want more. I didn't quite hear that. It was a good sound. All right, so that there's the idea that your good sound is always supported, always has that fullness of Magdalena's ring and complete voice. Okay? Now, we can, if we want to do a messa di voce, then we can telegraph the idea that we're increasing in volume and then controlling our descent. All right? But in this particular instance, I just want as an exercise for you to be able to actually sustain the sound in your fullness right to the very end, and then you decide to stop without a falling off of the breath supply.
Absolutely.
All right, see how we go. You can do so much with one word. It's wonderful.
Addio senza rancor.
Okay, very good. Very good effort. Very good effort. Yes, I think we need even more concentration on it. I don't want you to diminuendo on addio. I want you to keep it sustained at a particular mezzo piano, what you feel is a generous sort of sound. Now, at the beginning of senza, I want you to already to believe that the is is already, the is already formed in your mind, so that there's not a break between the s and the so that the breath is going, oh yes, se, sen, sen. All right, so that there's not sen. See how we go. Same again. Addio senza. Okay, I'm sorry to stop. Stop. Now that I've pointed it out, do you recognize this element of Magdalena's singing? Can you hear that it just as she finishes all, it just doesn't quite sustain? Am I right? Anybody who doesn't agree, please put their hand up. No one has to leave the room. Good. No, I know, because the feeling inside, you probably think you are doing it. You probably think you are. But I really want that, I try and, may I say, almost intensify, perhaps give more delivery of breath at the end of all. Interestingly enough, it will give the idea of sensitivity. And this is the end of goodbye and all these things. It will give you this. It will give you the result that I think you want, but in a different way. And it will be more satisfying to an audience. All right?
Once more.
Please.
Addio senza rancor.
Okay, very good. And I'd love a little bit of a r at the end, rancor. Just because I think it deserves a bit of investment for that. Okay, now I like your little join there. Senza. Now I'm wondering if you can use that join from a purely technical point of view to just sing senza. And keep those ah sounds in the same spot. So we're not changing. Now, you can hear probably, if you were to listen to this again, you can hear that we may be changing into a different vocal register for you, perhaps. But what I love is the idea of making sure that the whole voice is vibrating all the time. It's very satisfying to the listener. And then when you have that join or that wholeness of your sound, we then have the ability to control the delivery of it. But we still have to offer in the first instance the main delivery. Okay? So we're going to move on to senza, all right?
Okay.
Yeah?
Hold on.
Mhm. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a good attempt. Okay, just no one's here. Just your own studio. Just practice it a couple of times. Okay, yes, very good. Once more. Now, in that, when you get this it's already in a nice, what I would call this, it's a closed vowel, Try and keep that sense of containment on the, I can't do it in the soprano register, I'm sorry. So that there's a relation between the sein and the sa. That's a very open delivery. What I want is sein sa ran kor. So that what we're trying to do is to try and create this creaminess without any disturbance of this gorgeous, calm, fluid sound. That's the ultimate aim, okay? Okay, very good. Now, you're using a lot of breath too, and that's great. I want there to be good strength in the breath flow as well. Okay, so that you're investing sin, good end, sin, sa, ran, ko, ran, ko.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yes, all of those. R, a, n, k, or.
Okay.
All of that. Good. Okay, fine. Now, can you bring all that together? All right. You've done very well to expand it, as I've asked. Now, all those things a little tighter in time frame. Breath all the way through. Excellent. Now, from a technical point of view, that's very, very well on the way now. Now, from a performing point of view, what I want you to believe is that's actually this intimate experience going on. Addio senza rancor. So that there's really, it's absolutely from within. Absolutely from within. Okay? So forget the technical stuff now, except don't. Just, and now, and relax your face, and it's just you. And in fact, there's a very big insulation between that judgment and our work. All right? So just and relax, nice and relax. Addio senza rancor. Okay, hands up who liked that. Go and do likewise. Okay, no. In other words, this sort of phrase, which seems very simple on the page, of course, we really need to invest in every moment of it. Because it, in fact, coming to although this is very minute, this is minuscule working, and I know the real difficulty in being in a wonderful place like the Guildhall School of Music is that you have language coaching, and you have movement, and you have recital programs, and you have all those things which are demanding of your time, in addition to your Facebook account. The real essence of what we're doing here is about spending time very simply with yourself, very simply trying to find what elements of the essence of your singing can be perfected, even as accomplished as Magdalena is already. These are things which we can really tweak very, very keenly. And I would ask that, of course, demand of your singing teachers. Is that good enough? Is that really right? Is that the best that I can do? Is that absolutely the best sound that you're hearing? Because, of course, here, we can't hear. We can only feel. And that's the hardest thing. We are all very good critics of ourselves with these. Well, I want you to cut them off, all right? Because so many people, how many do this? How many? Come on. Anyone? Anyone? Anyone. Good. Okay. So that's just a double ear, isn't it? Just a double ear. So this is, the next time you do this, I want you to do this. All right? Fingers in both ears. Because in the end, all you will have in any acoustic, because you will be in different acoustics every time you practice, every time you're rehearsing with an orchestra, when you go into a room with your conductor, or you're preparing with your pianist your recital program, there will be a different acoustic. Remember that it's all about how you're feeling. Is the breath being delivered? Is the sensation of phonation consistent here? Am I feeling free? Am I feeling relaxed? And don't judge yourself on what you're hearing back, but what you're feeling. If it's feeling relaxed, it's more than likely going to sound relaxed. All right? Good. So, now, let's get into the French, because I'm quite happy with the rest of the Mimi, all right? Now, the French. French is a very difficult language, because it's a very, what I would call non-stressed language. But because it's a non-stressed language doesn't mean we should not understand it. All right? So I want some really clear diction going on here, okay? Now, you give the flavor of what the song is about, but actually, I'm quite interested in what the story is.
Okay.
Okay? I really want to know that. And in fact, I have to say that in spite of your introduction, that's not what I think the song is about. Okay? There's a story going on here. There's a dialogue going on here. And I want you to heighten that dialogue, if I can. Okay? The better side here. Good. Okay, very good start. Already better. Already better. And I would feel, again, even though there's a diminuendo on the end of that last note, be careful of diminuendos. They're our worst enemies, actually. Because what they instruct us to do is to back off. All right? But in fact, all they're doing is allowing another musical phrase to take over. So we have to respect our own instrument here. If a reed instrument were to take off the pressure, it would crack, or it would go flat, or if a violinist started not to put the bow on the string, if they took it off the string, it would start to scratch. This is what happens with us vocally. Keep those flaps phonating. when we have a diminuendo. In fact, crescendos are the most difficult things to do because we're asking more of our body to be engaged. Diminuendos are probably simply a result of us maintaining our breath flow. It's a natural, at the end of a phrase, we would normally psychologically say, okay, that's the end of the phrase. But we have to, as singers, we have to communicate the fact that we are holding the note till the end, that we're vibrating with all of our mechanism right to the end. Okay? Can we just maybe just take from the from that last phrase? La voile enfle son aile, la brise va souffler.
La voile enfle son aile. Okay, yeah, I mean. La voile enfle son aile, c'est va souffler. La voile enfle son aile, la brise va souffler.
Okay. Did you see what happened there? Did you hear what happened? It just fluttered a bit on flé, and then you got it again. So we have to concentrate on soufflé. Okay. All right, right to the end. Don't allow a getting quieter to be less breath, because as soon as you starve that breath, they don't know what to do. They are dependent on you, on the continual supply. All right? Just literally the last phrase. La brise va.
La brise va souffler.
Hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Tough. This is our job. This is our job to keep the beauty of our voice always at its maximum, all right? Remember that piano is beautiful, and pianissimo is more beautiful, all right? Whenever you see piano, it's your beautiful sound. When you see pianissimo or a diminuendo, you're becoming more beautiful. Whatever that takes, okay? I know years of grade 5 theory completely undermined, but that's exactly what those words mean. All right? Let's go. Now, when we get la brise va. La brise va. Now, I want you to try and get in the same, we were working on the same kind of vocal region here. What I'm trying to find now is Magdalena's, the optimum sound of her voice is in this area here. And what we can find sometimes is that we deprive the voice of its parameters. So we let the top fall off, so we only get half the real resonance of your voice. Does that make sense? Yes. So I'm going to exaggerate. This is a habit that I have very, very keenly. La brise va. Okay? La brise va is la brise va. So that there's a fullness in that sound which I have to concentrate on maintaining because of many, many, many years of la brise va. All right? Hands up that know that feeling. Oh, everyone, yeah, I know. So, and it's just the concentration of making sure that the breath is providing ample resonance all the time. Okay? May we just do this? I think this might be our last shot at this. So let's have a go. Okay? Okay, marvelous. Yes. Yeah. Okay, all of these things. Thank you. So as joyous as those first performances were, these are elements which I hope will continue to grow in these particular pieces for you. And I hope you can apply that sort of real focus on the details. Now, of course, what we did was very technical. But in fact, what it allowed suddenly was a spontaneity of emotion. And this is kind of our curious thing. I came to the UK because I wanted to get away from technical work. I was bored of the North American style of Okay. I wanted to sing Finzi and Vaughan Williams and Parry and Elgar. These are the main things that I wanted to do. I didn't care about technique. And 5 years after I arrived, I had a terrible vocal crisis because poetically I was very full, but technically I couldn't do anything. So all those things that I wanted to do poetically suddenly were stuck in my throat. It was a very, very traumatizing moment, and I went to New York for my singing lessons. So, because I needed muscle, and I needed technique, and I needed framework, and I needed to train like a football player, and so what I got here was poetry. But I'm asking you, don't lose these 5 years. Work on this technical stuff, which will allow freedom. And you'll be as far ahead as Magdalena is. Wonderful. Thank you very much.